Gang, what's going on? We are back with another one. Now listen, we're about to get right into it. We're about to get started right now because we don't really know how much time we got online right now. Phone outages, the power outages, the internet outages. Now we got the eclipse coming up, and also they're talking about shutting down TikTok. So like, what are we gonna do if that happens? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get into it. We really got to push these videos out. So without further ado, let's go. Celebrities and politicians taking off their masks and bodysuits. What's about to happen, y'all? No way. Yo, that's the first video and I'm already speechless.
True, but realized wasn't.
Well, as one of the main opponents of the Illuminati, I always wanted to know what information they had that we didn't. And I found out, I was always wondering how our God could have been so thrown off by a story of a tree and fruit. And then I found out that that's not the case at all. Adam was God's son, which means Eve was his daughter. And if they have sex, that ruins everything. And that's what happened. And that's a piece right there.
Excellent observation.
Thank you.
Guys, I don't know at this point. Right now, it's really hard to believe what's real and what's not. Tell me what you think about that.
Listen carefully to this.
Whoa.
Human cloning has been around since the early 1960s. If you don't know who this man is Bill Clinton. He's a former US president. This is what he had to say about human cloning. Listen carefully to this.
That attempting to use known cloning techniques to actually create a human being is untested, unsafe, and morally unacceptable. 2 days ago, the Senate voted to take the time necessary to carefully craft a bill that will ban the cloning of human beings while preserving our ability to use cloning technology for morally acceptable and medically important purposes.
But it's super hard for me to believe that they're doing this with human beings. Like, I'm sure they are, you guys. I'm sure they are, but it's just so hard to believe that they're actually doing this, you know, and just having sleeping body like avatars just sitting there waiting to get somebody's consciousness just transferred over into that body. That's one of them subjects I need more proof on. I know it's a favorite topic right now, and with a lot of actors and musicians starting to look so different right now. Tell me how you guys really feel about cloning, and also like some facts that you guys know that will get me a little bit more convinced that this is really going on.
It's like Christianity's God. There's only one God. But there's a very famous astronomer named Robert Jastrow. His credentials as a scientist are impeccable. Being agnostic, he's not even a Christian. He said that all of the essential elements of the Big Bang Theory line up with biblical creation. Because this is how God works. God speaks something, and then science runs to catch up with what he said. Science doesn't create anything. Science studies creation. Let me just answer a question that I always get. Who created God? What'd I say? I said everything with a beginning. Everything that came to be needs a cause. God didn't come to be. God is eternal, the way a lot of people thought the universe was until science disproved it. So God doesn't need a cause or a creator. He is the cause. The universe is the effect. Don't just take my word for it. Go look into it for yourself. One more thing. Evidence is not a substitute for faith. Following God is not a matter of evidence or proof. It's a matter of the will. You have to want to do it so you can have the peace that you're looking for. And if you don't want to make that choice, no amount of evidence is good.
Yeah, having science to prove that God exists, that's like 100% disrespectful because God is so much bigger than anything. And if you don't know, I do feel bad for the experience that you haven't had with God. If you don't believe in Him, and I'm not talking about religion as in man made religions, I'm just speaking about an actual personal experience with God. I feel like if you haven't looked into it, gave it a chance, or let Him show you, then it's very unfortunate because it's a beautiful thing.
2019, the Pentagon's Psychological Operations Unit spoke about turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting, a psyop for combating online misinformation. Now,
Y'all, I was just talking about this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Listen very closely.
I'm going to show you this clip, but before I do so, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. How does someone get so popular that her last tour outweighs the GDP of 50 countries? Then I want you to ask yourself this. Who is she dating? Well, some call him Mr. Pfizer because he is all over the commercials, and now he's one of the most popular athletes of all time. And coincidentally, we're about to see both of their faces a lot during the most viewed event in television history.
You came in here wanting to understand how you just go out there and counter that information operation. But the idea is that social influence can help encourage or promote behavior change, so potentially as like a peaceful information operation. I include Taylor Swift in here because she's, she's a fairly influential online person. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Mr. Beast and his...
They said to encourage. It's more so like manipulate and brainwash because many people are susceptible to just following the lead of others. And as soon as they see a celebrity, they're just ready to go for whatever their favorite celebrity is steering them to do without actually consciously thinking.
True. They're all individual personal brands. Cool, but who are they managed by? Night Media. Okay, and who's Night Media owned by? Disney. So you basically have glorified Disney kids that have contracts that they have to say certain things, that they have to run certain agendas, and they don't really have a choice. Shout out to Mr. Beast Study School.
Paul Harvey made this prediction in 1965 of what's happening right now. This is wild. You have to see this.
If I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. And I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey. Good day.
Tell me a lie that he told. Comment down below and tell me a lie that he told, because everything was on point and he just kept putting it on the table over and over and over again. Like, we can't dispute that.
There might be more than 7 continents on Earth. Okay, so the Earth might be bigger than we thought. For many years, people have debated over the shape of the Earth, if it is round or flat. Now this might be all conspiracy, but what if the Earth had more than 7 continents, and Antarctica was just a giant ice wall that kept us from seeing the rest of the continents? What if, once you made it past the ice wall, you'll find the 20 continents that are really being hidden from us? And what if there was a map that showed this? There are theories that these continents contain prehistoric animals, aliens, and advanced civilizations. And the 7 continents that we are living in are just a big farm for business, owned by a small handful of families that make up the filthy rich in the other continents that we don't know about. So what if?
Man, if I ever found that out, or I feel like if we ever found that out, we would wild out. It's just too late for them to let us know. How would they even introduce the idea that this is possible to us? How do you think they would do this? How would they just gently introduce the idea that there's other islands or other continents out there without us going ape crazy?
Search and you'll discover that the idea that the Earth is like billions of years old is totally impossible, and the theory of evolution is not backed up by any scientific science whatsoever. The more you look into it, the more you realize that the King James Bible is 100% true, and according to the King James Bible, the Earth was created 6,000 years ago. Adam and Eve were the first humans, and they were created, and Satan is now trying to destroy every descendant of Adam and Eve. He will therefore have wiped out mankind, and that's what this transhumanism crap is about, because when we start taking on elements of machines, we are no longer human, and Satan's done his job. He's wiped out all of Adam and Eve's descendants.
You know, this is really what I truly believe. Like, it has to be deeper than that. It cannot be on a human level of like human hatred and just racism and just humans trying to take over other countries and trying to just wipe people out, even with the vac. I really do think that it's on a way deeper level, a spiritual level. Something is just trying to take out God's creation, really.
Did you see a neurologist to find out if I'm crazy?
Mm-hmm. And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams.
Beings you will ever come across on the face of Earth. If that's the case, then why do they suddenly get sick with illnesses that no one seems to know about? The answer is known only to the elites, who seem to be in control of who lives and who dies. Wendy Williams is one of the most...
Until 1999, the Oscars was held at a building called the Shrine, which was founded by William Florence and Walter Fleming, 2 high-ranking Scottish Rite Freemasons. Hollywood has long been interested in Freemasonry. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, you name it, the list goes on. Many celebrities have come out and admitted their connection to Freemasonry. In the book Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, on page 321, Freemasons let us know exactly who their God is. It says, Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name given to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. It is he who bears the light. And with its splendors intolerable, blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls. Doubt it not. When the movie Life is Beautiful was awarded at the Oscars, the camera quickly pulls back and shows a wide of the stage. When you pause it, you can see elements of Freemasonry built into the very set. If you look at a Masonic tracing board, a tool a Mason uses to teach and educate people involved in Freemasonry how to spot things that are connected to that organization, you can see the checkered floor, you can see the archways, you can see the sun motif in the back.
And all of these things are in music videos that we see. So it seems like every single video or every single performance is almost like a ritual or some type of paying homage to the Masons or the higher ups. Like, per usual, it's right in front of us.
And people think, if you don't do the research, that they invented the swastika. No, no. What the Nazis did, and what all Satanists do, is they take an esoteric symbol and they turn it around to consciously indicate the negative. This is why the classic symbol of Satanism is the five-pointed star reversed, so it's pointing down, not up. Reverse symbolism. You'll find this in the Illuminati all the time. This is a Phoenician standing stone in Scotland. Again, the swastika, which the Nazis reversed to indicate the negative. Not surprising.
History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There is no.
Do you want one?
No, no.
No, I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Right. As I said, I mean, I know it's so common now to call people by color, I guess, but everybody should be recognized by a culture, because a culture describes them in, you know, what kind of music that they're accustomed to, what kind of food that they're accustomed to, you know, what kind of celebrations they have, what kind of heritage that they have. So if somebody lets you know that they are from this country, now you know, you kind of, you know, can narrow down. You can appreciate them in a respectful way. You know how there's some people that just want to give you a compliment and then take it away, or just give you a compliment in a sketchy way. Every time somebody puts you in a box, I feel like it's disrespectful, and I feel like it needs to be stopped immediately. But at the same time, people are too far gone to even comprehend anything like that. But to each his own. To each his own, I guess.
Look at trying to leave the Parliament.
There's a theory that we haven't ever been to outer space because of a transparent barrier that surrounds our entire world, and that past this barrier isn't open space or vacuum, but water. Now, it all might sound...
I want to mention something. I've seen that many, many times. I know it depends on where you're from, but because I go to Florida often, I see that a lot. I actually have a clear view of them doing things like that. I believe SpaceX is down there. I'm not sure what it's called, but we see this very often, and it literally looks just like that. Like, I mean, it looks like a boat going through water.
Crazy, but back in 1962, the U.S. government launched a couple of nukes into the sky.
Look, that just looked like a speedboat or like jet skis or something.
To them, or that's what they want us to believe. But some say they were actually trying to see if they could crack that invisible barrier. Ironically enough, this program was called Operation Fishbowl. This theory is further speculated, as many have said that if you look at the stars with your own eyes, or zoom in on them with a camera, it seems to be twinkling or shining through a liquid-like substance. As rocket enthusiasts have observed, that rockets we have launched do seem to get a field that causes a ripple-like effect that you could see in water.
I just said that.
Is that jet flying so close to our house? At last, those planes are flying where they belong.
That's right. Over the homes of poor people.
Top secret CIA Weather Control Division, Dick speaking. Diving Pizza Store! Oh, it's you, Stan. What kind of favor?
In 2020, it was due to the poor air quality.
Do you guys think that they also spray these CTs over places where nobody lives? You know, there's so many fields and there's so many like agricultural places where it's just plants and trees and forests and mountains. Do you think that they actually spray over those areas or only populated areas?
Caused by smoke from wildfires burning across our state.
Wasn't that the weirdest day? Well, now we're seeing the same phenomenon on the East Coast. Look at these incredible images. You can see the iconic Empire State.
Red Bull jump proves flat Earth or huge globe. Go to the official video of the jump and take a screenshot while the capsule is on the ground and the door is open and Felix enters. Take another screenshot when the door opens after you reach the height of 39 kilometers. Now you've got the reference point, the inside camera view. This camera is fixed and doesn't move the whole time. Now draw a line from edge to edge where the horizon is. Now compare the two footages like I did. You can clearly see that the horizon rises with eye level. It's important because the higher you go on the globe, the more space is between the eye level and the horizon. You see, the horizon drop should be massive at the amount of 40 kilometers. Let's switch it to 39,000 meters, and this space here between the eye level and the horizon should be visible. So after reaching the height of 39 kilometers and the door opens, the horizon should be in this area. So now there are only 3 possibilities left. Possibility number 1, if you still believe into a globe system with 6,371 kilometers radius, you have accepted the fact that this whole jump was staged. Possibility number 2, the spinning ball is massive and huge, much more larger than we thought. Due to the fact that at the height of 39 kilometers there is no visible horizon drop, the Earth has minimum be 100 times bigger. Possibility number 3, we are living on a flat plane surface. That's why you cannot see any kind of horizon drop at the height of 39.
But then you got to think about it. Why would they stage it? I mean, do they just not want to spend the money to get everything assembled together and actually take that trip? Maybe they can't take that trip, or maybe they're just lying. So either way, it's some type of fabrication going on. Either way, they're showing us and telling us some BS.
Going to make you question some things. So first of all, trees have a frequency of 200 hertz, meaning it's going to make you feel grounded, stable, and confident just being around trees. That's why being in a forest can feel so calming. And here's the stat, and just look at this. The poorest areas in America here have little to no trees, while the richest areas in America are covered in trees. What do you think about that?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you know, the lower the vibration of a human body, the more you are susceptible to sicknesses and diseases, as well as obeying whatever they are trying to feed you physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, you know, so it makes a lot of sense. The more high vibration that you feel in your environment is, the more creative you become, the more inventions that you can create, the more intellectual conversations that you can have. And that leads to, of course, better education, better communication with your family, better communication with your children, and just a stronger household, as well as stronger foundations, better jobs, better businesses, and just better environments for a human being to be and thrive in. You guys, I mean, these videos have really had me speechless. I was just super interested. And at some points, I just realized I wasn't even reacting to them because my eyes were just glued to the information that was coming through the videos. I'm always interested in hearing any facts, opinions, or any experiences that you guys have been through. To be honest, I think this is the best compilation we have ever reacted to, just because these videos were true gems. I mean, they had me captivated. With all that being said, thank you so much for joining me here today. I always look forward to doing these with you guys. Y'all already know, for everybody that's been supporting the channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. For anybody that is new on our channel, please join our family. Hit that notification bell down below and subscribe to our channel so that way you can be notified every time a new video is released. That is it. That is all. Everything is everything, you guys. Be good and do